Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we will study how we can design list of values in Oracle Apex. So first of all, log into your Oracle Apex workspace and then select your application. So in your page, select the region in which you want to create your list of value. Right click and create a page item. Name it to departments and then select its type to select list. Okay, then you can see here we have a error, which is you can see here we have one, which is in a red circle. It means there is a error in our page. So move to your properties and here you can see we have list of values. So these basically are the values will be shown in your select list to end users. So here we have four options from which we can get data from our database tables, or we can provide static values. So first of all, we are going to create a select list from static values. So here you can provide department name, finance, and its return value is F, and then HR and its return value is HR. Okay, run your page, and here you can see we have two departments, finance and HR. So in this way we can design a select list. Now what if you want to show select department option? So here we have option display null value. It means when we switch on this option, which is by default on, you can type here select department. Run your page again or refresh your page. So here you can see we have select department. So if you don't want to show this option, you can switch off this extra values and display null. Run your again, and here you can see we have first value of the select list selected by default. So now we explore some properties of this select list. First option is page action on selection. So here we have multiple options. Submit page. What it does, it basically when we select this option, it will submit all the items on your page in session state and refresh the page. Then we have redirect and set value. What it does, it will redirect to you from this page to this page and set the value. Then we have redirect to page. For example, your display value is finance and its return value is a URL. In that case, you will be redirected to that URL. Okay, or you will be redirected to that page. Redirect to URL, this is the same as redirect to page, but in case of redirect to URL, your return value is URL. Okay, so let's suppose we try submit page. Run your page again. So first of all, select session state, and here you can see we have a value employee name and its value is Arshad. Okay, now change its value to Amjad and select HR. So move to your session state and see text field value is Amjad, but select text select list value is HR. It means when we change or select any value from the select list, it submits the page. Similarly, you can try redirect and set value. Okay, run your page again. So this time I am selecting finance. Okay, so you can see it is redirecting to this page, which is right now in front of us. So it submits the value and redirect to this page. Leave. and move to your session state, and here you can see we have a value F, which is finance. So in this way it redirects and set the value. Similarly, you can try other two values. Then we have layout related options. We covered in our last lecture all these options. Appearance also covered. Then we have all options are the same. So now we are going to create a dynamic select list, or we can say from a query. So here select dpt dname and then dpt number from dpt. Dpt is our department table. Validate your query. It is successful. In select list, first column of our select query is display value and the second column is return value. So I am giving alias D and department number to R. R means return value and D means display value. Okay, run your page. So here you can see we have all the departments, and when I click on sales research, so its ID will be submitted in session state, and we will save that value into our database table. So if you select department number as a first column and department name as a second column, in that case department number would be displayed in your select list and department name will be saved in your database or in your session state. So run your page again. So you can see department IDs are here, and when I click on 30, you will see now in session state we have sales department. So in that case it will display department IDs and save department names in database table. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something useful in this lecture. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. In our previous lecture, we studied how we can create list of values using static values and dynamic values, or we can say how we can design a list of values from database tables. In this lecture, we will see how we can design a list of values in shared components. Sometimes there is a requirement when you have one list of value and you want to use that select list into multiple pages. If you want to use your select list or list of values on multiple pages, in that case create your list of value in shared components so that you can use that list of value on multiple pages. So let's start. Click on your application, move to shared components, and here you can see we have a option list of values. Click on it and create. Here we have two options: from scratch as a copy of an existing list of values. So we are going with from scratch. Here we have two types of list of values, dynamic and static, as we created on our page items in previous lecture. Similarly, here you need to provide the name of list of values, departments, LOV, and next. Here you can create this list of value based on table or based on query, or you can select the function returning SQL. Then you need to provide the query select department name as display value and DPT number as return value from DPT. Validate your query. Next. And here you can see return column is R, which is its department ID, or department number, and display column is display department name. Create. So this is our query which we created in shared components. Now how we can associate this shared component LOV to our page items. Move to your page items. Here we have custom form page. Create new page item and name it as DPT. Select it as select list, and here we need to provide the query. So this time I am selecting shared component. So here we have departments LOV we created, and here you can display a value. Select DPT and run your page. So here you can see we have departments, all the departments. Similarly, you can create this departments LV on other pages and associate with page items. The next topic we will cover is cascading list of values. Cascading list of values basically are two related select lists where the value of the first list populates the second list of values. So let's take an example how we can create. So this is our departments LOV. Create another select list page item, mark it as select list, and then you need to provide the query. So query of this employees is select ename and then enumber emp number from emp where DPT number equal to. Now what if you want to access the value of T31 DPT select list? So we can access the value of page items into this query by providing colon and then name of that page item. So validate your query. So it's successful. Click OK, and here switch on this. Here you can see we have cascading list of values option, and then we have parent item. So in this case our parent item is department and child list of value is employees. Name it as employees. So select DPT, which is parent list of value, and then select page items to submit department list of value and parent required. You can switch off this option if parent is not required, but in this case cascading list of values we need parent. So run your page. So here you can see there are no employees. When I click on accounting, so all the employees belongs to accounting department listed here, which are 2 employees only. Then we have operations, and all the employees belongs to operation listed here. And for research we can see all the employees of research department listed here. So in this way you can create cascading list of value in your on your pages. So the next option is how we can create buttons in Oracle Apex. So click on region and create button. So here you can see this is the button and we name it as save. So here we have a appearance option, button template. You can select text with icon, and if you select text with icon, you can provide the icon. For example, you want to show a search icon, search, and then we have a option hot button. So you can select hot button, and then we have multiple option. We can select the size, then type, its primary button, normal, danger, success. For example, it is a success button. Then we have its style, icon position, left or right, we can change it, and we have multiple other options. So then we have behavior of the button. When we click on this button, what action will be performed? It will submit the page, it will redirect to page in this application, or it will redirect to page in different application, or redirect to any URL, or defined by dynamic action. So we will see dynamic actions in details in our next lectures. So the next option is warn on unsaved changes. Do not check or page default. You can select any both of these options. Then we have database actions. For database actions, we have three options: insert, update, and delete. What action you want to perform when we click on this button. So run your page, and here you can see we have a button with success. For success, we have green color, and then we have an icon, and when I click on this button, it will submit the page for processing. So in this way you can design buttons in your Oracle Apex pages. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something useful in this lecture. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we will see how we can design pop-up LOV in Oracle Apex. So let's start. Log into your Oracle Apex workspace, open your application and click on your region, create page item, and then name it as DPT and select pop-up LOV. Here we have two options for display as inline and model pop-up. To see the difference between these two display options, let's create another pop-up LOV and name it as dialog and change its type to pop-up LOV. Now we need to provide the query of this list of values, select, and column which we want to display, the name, and column return value which is DPT number. That's it. Copy this query, validate this query. Okay, it's typo mistake, so it's successful. Similarly, copy this query and paste it here. Now let's see its properties. This LOV is model dialog and this is inline and this is dialog. Okay. For this is display. Then we have initial fetch automatic means once it will be rendered, all the values from department table will be visible to your end users. If you want to change it, you can change on user request or automatic with current value. Then we have multiple values. If you want to select multiple values, then you can switch on this option. Then for values, you can use separator as per your choice. For example, you want comma separated or you want column separated. If you want to allow end users to enter data like manual entry, you can allow your end users to enter data in your pop-up LOV manually. Then you have an option of search, like search as you type. For example, users write in your pop-up LOV and data will be searched based on the characters entered by the end users. So then we have a minimum characters option to limit the end users, so that when they enter three characters, then search will be performed, or you can select the up to five characters. And if we set it to no, then it will search based on as you type the characters. Then you can set the width and the height of the pop-up. So then you need to, what is the issue with this query? dpt validate and run your page. Provide your password. So here you can see this is inline, and you can see it is displayed in your along with your text field. And when we have dialog, it is shown like a pop-up. And here you can see we have all the departments. For example, when I search for sales, so it is searched based on the characters I entered in the text field. So the next property is additional output. Uh, for additional output, we need here. Okay, you can type here. This additional outputs. What is basically this option is used if you want to display multiple columns for your pop-up LOV, and you want to return, or you want to use the value of other columns in your application. So for to use this feature, you need to create a LOV in your shared components. So select your shared components, create a list of values, and here we have departments LOV. Okay, so I am going to edit this LOV. So here you can see return value, display value, and sorting based on the display value. And D column is department name. Here you can see we can configure additional display columns. So select the columns which you want to display. Here we have only two columns. So if I want to display location, then I need to select extra column location. Validate your query and then select columns. And now this time I want to display location as well. Update. And here you can see we have configurations of the additional columns. For example, visible, R is not visible, but department name and location both are visible. And then you can define searchable. Searchable means your data is searchable based on display name, which is department name, and location. When user will enter location, your pop-up LOV will be searched based on that data. And additionally, you can apply format masks for your additional columns. So save your list and refresh your page. So first of all, you need to create this dialog pop-up LOV based on shared components. So here we need to select shared components, and then we need to select departments LOV and run your page. Here you can see we have this LOV, and this time we are displaying department name and location both. So if I want to use this location value, then I need to use additional outputs. So for additional outputs, for example, I want to set this additional output value, which is location, and want to set it into employee name text field. Then what I should do, search for additional outputs, and then I need to provide the column name, colon, and then in which text field I want to set the value, which is employee number. Copy this and search for additional and paste it here. You can use multiple columns and set their values based on comma separated. Run your page again, and this time I am going to select a value of New York. Its value is not it is displayed here because this is employee number. So in this way, let's suppose I select Chicago, and you can see additional output column value is set into text field. So this is very useful feature. You can display multiple columns in the LOV, pop-up LOV, and then you can use additional column values in your application. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something useful in this lecture. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we will see how we can design checkboxes, radio buttons, and date picker. So first of all, log into your Oracle Apex workspace and then select the application. Then click on your region, create page item, and then change its type to checkbox, and its label is checkbox. Then create another page item and name it as group checkbox and change its type to checkbox group, and its label is group checkbox. Similarly, when we select a group checkbox, then we need to provide the list of values. So provide the query, select the name, and then DPT number. DPT. Copy this query and then validate this query. Okay. So now we are going to create another page item, and this time it is radio button. And similarly, you can see we have subtypes as usual, but for radio and checkboxes, we don't need these things. Sorry, it's text box, that's why it is showing text. Now we need to radio group, and when we select radio group, in that case we need to provide the query and query, paste the query, and okay. Run your page. So here you can see this is single checkbox, this is group checkboxes, and these are radio group buttons. Now if we want to show all these checkboxes in a row, in that case we have option number of columns. For example, I want 4 columns, so 4 checkboxes will be in the same row. Similarly, for radio buttons, I want to show 4 radio buttons in the same row, and then switch off these options. So here you can see we have 4 checkboxes in a single row. Similarly, you can set a number of columns as per your requirements. The next option is create another page item and set it as date picker. date, and here we have our option. We want to show time or not. If you want to show, you can switch on this option. Then display as pop-up or inline. So first of all, we are going with pop-up, and then we have option minimum date. For minimum date, for example, you want to select static value. For static value, for example, I want to select minimum date is tomorrow. So in that case, you need to provide 1 and then D. But if you want to select minimum day, that is yesterday, in that case you need to provide -1D. So what it will does, it will subtract 1 day from the current date. So similarly, maximum date, select static, and for example, for maximum date, I want +5 D, so that user would be able to select the date within the week. And then we have option to select multiple months. We can show maximum 5 months at a time, but right now we are going with no. So run your page again. So here you can see we have a date, and its minimum date is 10 and maximum date is 16. So similarly, if you want maximum date, for example, is +5 months, in that case you need to provide, or we can say, for example, 1 month. In that case you need to provide 1M, and minimum date is +1 day tomorrow. So select it again. So you can see we have option of only for this month. When I click on this, you can see we can move only for this month, and the other months dates are disabled. Similarly, move to previous date, you would not be able to move previous month. Similarly, if you want to provide a query for minimum date and maximum date, you can provide the query. For example, minimum date, I have item. Minimum date is based on an item. In that case, you need to provide a item and set it to min and set it to hidden, so that end user would not be able to see it. And move to source and select SQL query, and then you need to write a query which returns minimum date. For example, it returns today date. So in that case, select sys date and then from 12, and then you need to truncate trunc sys date, and then you need to convert it to character, and then you need to provide the format, and format is year, month, date, then hours in 24 format, and close this. So this is the current date is the minimum date. Okay, and then we need to create another page item and its maximum date, and its maximum date is single query, and that's it. And this time I want +5, because within the same week user will be able to select the date. Okay, and then for date you need to provide the minimum date, select the minimum date, and for maximum date select item, and maximum date is this one, and mark maximum date to hidden. So run your page again. and select the date. So here you can see we have minimum date is 11 and maximum date is 16. So when I try to move on next, I am not able to move for other dates in future dates. So for example, I select this and for time this, done. So you can see it is showing only date. Select your date, show time, and here we have an option to show months. For example, I want to show 3 months. Run your page again, and this time select this date and then select time, done. So you can see it is showing only dates. So select your date and search for format. So here you can see we have format mask. So for format mask we have year, then we have month, then we have day, and after that we have time, which is 24 hours, and mi. Run your page again. Now select the date and time, done. So here you can see we have date and then we have time. You can format your year, month. For example, you want to show your date like this, and then and then this, sorry, mi. So run your page again. So here you can see we have 3 months. Select this date and then time. Okay, now your date format is a little bit more visible. Then you can select, instead of pop-up, you can select inline and don't show multiple months. Run your page again. This time you can see your calendar is shown as inline. So similarly you can select the date and that's it. Okay, so this is the way to use a calendar. Now let's create a button and name it as save, and select the calendar and mark it as pop-up. Save and run your page. So select accounting, then research, and then select a date, and then select a time, and done. Now submit your page, click save. So date must be between this and this. So this is basically a validation which is showing date must be between these two dates. So when you click on session state, you can see when we have any validation error, no items submitted to the session state. So in this way you can use checkboxes, radio buttons, and date or a calendar in Oracle Apex. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something useful in this lecture. Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we will study rich text editor and text field with autocomplete. So log into your Oracle Apex workspace and select your application. Then click on create page and select interactive report, and name of the report is employees, and then create a page and name of the page is employee details. Select model dialog, and then we need to provide the table name employee. Next, and primary key is employee number. Create the page, run your page. So this is your page. When I click on edit icon, so all the fields are text fields and one is date picker. Now open form of employees, which is employee details, and change employee name to rich text editor. In rich text editor, we have two types of format, markdown and HTML. So first of all, we are going with markdown, and run your page. Employee report, refresh this report and edit king. Now you can see we have rich text editor for employee names. For example, I want to bold king name, then bold it and save your changes. So when we have markdown, you can see data in the report is shown enclosed in Starix. When I click on edit again, but when we see this data in rich text editor, it is bold. So this is markdown format. Then I change it to HTML. Then we have toolbar options. We want to show basic, intermediate and full toolbar option. Then we have toolbar style, overflow or multi-line. And then we can set minimum and maximum height of rich text editor. Now change it to HTML, run your page again, refresh your report and edit king again. This time I am going to bold king again. Bold, save. For HTML, you can see data is stored in HTML in your database table. So this is not a good practice to show HTML to our end users. So to hide HTML and show king name as bold, what we do, just select the employee name column, and here we have a property escape special characters. Switch off this option, run your page again. So here you can see now this time it is showing king name as a bold. So in this way you can escape HTML from your report. Now move to your form again, change it to text field with autocomplete. When we select this option, you can see here we have our error in our page designer. So this is basically list of values. So we need to provide the list of values. So provide employee name, validate your query and run your page. Refresh your report. Now edit king. So this time it is text field. When I type S, so you can see we have all the names which contains S. So this is autocomplete option in Oracle Apex. So let's explore some properties of autocomplete. Select your text field and here we have search criteria. So for search criteria we have contains and case sensitive, then we have exact and case sensitive, and by default we have contains and ignore case, and then we have exact and ignore case. So you can select as per your need. Then we have fetch type. Fetch type means fetch on type. When we type, fetch the data from the database table. And then we have a cache option, how many maximum records we want to cache. You can select as per your need. And then we have minimum search, how many characters we would type, and search will start. So you can change as per your need. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something useful in this lecture. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to study radio and checkboxes. Radio buttons and checkboxes we use most of the time in our application when we are designing setup forms. So let's see how we can create these radio buttons and checkboxes in Oracle Apex. So first of all, log into your Oracle Apex workspace, create application, and then click on create page. So we are going with blank page. Click on next. Then name of the page is radio buttons and create page. Then we need to create a region. Select body, create a region. Name this region as radio buttons. And then select your region, create page item, and name of first page item is, for example, we are going to create a radio group, or we can say we are going to create radio group buttons, and for those buttons we will show departments so that end user can select different departments. So first of all, name it as departments and change its type to radio group. And when you change its type to radio group, then you need to provide list of values, and we can provide list of values by different means. So here we need to create a query for departments. So here we have department name, which we will show in radio buttons, and when user selects, we want department ID as a value so that we can store departments IDs in our database table. So validate your query, it's good. Okay, save. So your radio buttons are ready. Now run your page. Added a new page item departments. So what is the reason with departments? It is not rendering. So let's see. Okay. Save your page again and radio group. And then we have, this is our query. Name, departments, and location. Okay. We are going with 3 columns. That's why. Validate your query again. Okay, run. So here we go. So you can see we have all the departments here. So when I click on this, so I am able to select a radio button. So now I want to change its number of columns. Number of columns means right now we are showing all the departments into a single column. So if I want to show in 2 columns, I can select 2 columns, run your page again, and you will see here we have 2 columns. So in this way you can increase number of columns as per your need. So now we have next option is page action on selection. When you select any radio button, what you want to do. So here we have 2 options. You want to do submit the page, or you want redirect and set value. So for example, I want to submit the page whenever I select any radio button. Save, run your page again. So here you can see operations. So here you can see page is submitted. So in session state, you can see the value of selected radio button. Its value is 40, which is basically department operations. Okay. So now we are going to create another page item, which is checkbox. Change its type to checkbox, and it's yes or no, and its label is also yes, no, and that's it. Then we have another option, create page item, change its type to checkbox group. It is similar to radio button group. Here you can set the number of columns. For example, it's 2. And then we need to provide the query static. And here we have a query. Remove this location. That's it. Save and run your page again. So here we have this. Then change it to research and go to session state. And you can see we have for radio group we have value 20, which is research department. Then we have yes no values. It is yes, it's basically default behavior of the checkbox. So whenever it is checked, value will be y, and when it is unchecked, its value would be n. So for checkbox group, we have value 10, which is accounting department. So if I select two departments, for example, and submit the page, basically radio buttons is submitting the page. That's why I'm getting the value in session state. Okay. So here you can see now we have checkbox value y, and here we have for checkbox group we have two values separated by a colon, 10 and 30. Basically these 10 and 30 are departments IDs of selected departments. So this is basically default behavior of checkbox group and radio button group. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something useful in this lecture. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we will see how we can create dynamic content in Oracle Apex. So open any page in your application and right click, create region, and set it types to dynamic content. Rename it to employees. First of all, for dynamic content, we need to create a report, or we can say we need to create a HTML table. So for HTML table, we can create it on W3 School. HTML table W3 School, and open this link and try yourself. So this is our table. So first of all, we need to edit this table. For example, I am going to create a report based on employees data. So first of all, we need employee number. So here we have first column is employee number. Yeah, we can say it's ID, and after ID we have its name. So here we have name, and then we have job, job, and then we have hire date and salary. And then we have salary. Okay, so we have test this, we have this these columns, but I want job and name in the same column, hire date and salary in the same column. So for this purpose I need to use raw span equal to 2, and then for name I need to use call span, and it is also 2. So this we will use with other column which is job. Okay,